Hi, I'm Bonnie Campbell with ProjectStrong.ca, and here is today's Strong at Home workout number 10. And Aya, I think, is considering joining us. Okay, so our warm-up today, we are going to go through 2 rounds, and we're going to start with 10 squats. So we'll just get into that feet shoulder width apart position, nice tall spine, tight belly. The hip goes back, keeping the shins vertical as possible, knees go out, and we lower down to where we feel comfortable and pain-free. So we're going to do 10 squats. Once you've completed your 10 squats, you'll then go to 10 alternating leg lunges. With your lunges on your warm-up, you can go forward or reverse. It doesn't matter, whichever is more comfortable for you. So we can step back. Some of you may need to hold on to a wall. Some of you may need that stick for positioning and balance. She's not interested. Remember, we're keeping a vertical shin. That knee can track out. We don't want that knee coming in. We're keeping our feet in line with our hips. We don't want to be on a tightrope. That's going to make it really hard for our balance. So we'll do 10 alternating leg lunges. Then we'll go to our pass-throughs to warm up our shoulders. And today we can just use our Theraband for our pass-throughs. So we're going to take our arms out wide, so they're essentially in a Y position, long arms. And we're going to bring those arms, cycling them up and around over our head to wherever we can get to. Some of us will get to about here. We want to feel that gentle stretch through our chest and our shoulders. And once we get to that place, you can come back around. Some of you will get further, but I want you to make sure that you're not cheating the movement by breaking at the elbow. You want to keep those arms long throughout that movement. Keep the belly tight and the spine tall. So sometimes what we do to try and get our arms up over our head is as we get into that tight position, we arch the back to get our arms over, and that's not what we want to do. We want to keep that belly tight and the ribs tucked down so that we can get our arms through. So you'll feel that gentle stretch. Once you've completed 10 pass-throughs, I want you to go to that place where you're basically just overhead. And here, I want you to think about, so I'll turn forward and then I'll turn sideways. I want you to think about shrugging your shoulders up. So reaching those shoulders up towards your ears and then press them down or retract them down your spine. So basically I'm pulling my shoulder blades down into my back pockets. So we're going to do 5 of these. We're going to shrug up, pull down, shrug up, pull down, shrug up, pull down. So once you've completed 5 of those, we're now going to move to the floor to do our YWTL. And today, we're going to do them a little bit differently. Hopefully you can find a nice comfy place to lie down. Some of you can lie down on your bed for this. Make sure you've got lots of room around you. So we're going to work one arm at a time. So I'm going to place my hand underneath my forehead just to give myself some space so I can breathe. And we're going to go through our 3 positions. We're going to do 5 reps in each position. The first position is Y. We're only working one arm at a time. This fist is underneath our forehead for support and breathing room. I'm going to place my arm out in my Y position with my thumb pointing towards the ceiling. Here I want you to make sure you notice the difference between the shrugged position and the retracted position. So this is shrugged, this is retracted. So you can try a couple of those to make sure you know the difference, and I want you to make sure you start this movement in the retracted position. So now we're just going to lift that arm slightly up off the floor, hold for a pause, and then back down. And you're going to do 5 of these. Hold, pause, back down. Hold, pause, back down. Hold, pause, back down. So that's our Y position. Then we're going to go to the W. So I'm going to break at the elbow. My thumb stays pointing towards the ceiling. It's the same thing. Shoulders retracted down my back. And I'm going to lift my forearm and my elbow back towards the ceiling. Pause and down. Lift up, pause,
and down, up, pause, and down. And we're doing 5 of these in this position. And then I go out to my T position. So my arm is straight out extended from my shoulder. Thumb is still pointing towards the ceiling. And I'm going to do 5 with that pause at the top in each of these positions on each side. So once I've completed 5 in the Y, W, and T position, then I work to the other side. So that's our warm-up for today. So 10 squats, 10 lunges, 10 pass-throughs, 5 shrug and retract, and then 5 YWTs in each position. We're going to go through that twice. Okay, so here's your strength focus for today. We have 2 exercises. One is the push-up, which you'll be doing 5 reps of, and you're going to alternate that with our banded pull-apart, which will be 10 reps. So remember with the push-up, we're creating that nice tight plank. Many of you will do it from a higher height. So some of you might find a chair or a couch or an ottoman. So you're going to place your hands wherever you're comfortable, trying to keep them basically underneath your shoulders. You're in that nice tight plank position, and you're going to lower your chest towards that chair or box or ottoman and push back up. You notice that my elbows come to roughly my rib cage. That's a good position for those of us who have shoulder pain. Some of you will be able to get lower so the elbow comes past the rib cage, and that's okay too, provided you're pain-free in that position. So you're going to do 5 push-ups, you'll have a little rest, and then you'll go to your pull-apart. So we're using our Theraband. We're going to think about a wide chest, tall spine, tight belly, long arms, and we're going to pull that band apart and back. So remember, we don't break at the elbow. Those are long arms throughout the movement, and we want to keep those shoulders down in that retracted position. As we start to fatigue here, what we sometimes see happening is the shoulders start to creep up when we start to get tired, and we don't want to do that. We want to make sure we're able to keep those shoulder blades down, belly tight, rib cage locked in place as we pull apart for 10 reps, okay? Have a nice long rest after those 10 pull-aparts before you do your push-ups again. So a 1 to 2 minute rest would be appropriate, and then you're back to your push-ups. So you're going to do 5 sets of each of those exercises, alternating between the 2. And that's your strength. Okay, so here's a little burpee review for everybody. We have burpees that are coming up in our workout. So we're just going to take a moment to review our burpee technique and all the different ways we can do a burpee. So the thing to remember about a burpee, it's our way of getting down to the floor and back up again. And it's one of those functional movement skills that we need to have to be able to continue to live independently in our own homes. Because if we were ever to fall down, we need to be able to get up on our own without needing help. So that being said, in our workout today, we can choose a lot of different ways of achieving a burpee. So you should take a moment to practice and figure out which burpee method you think you would like to use. So for some of you, you might be needing a chair. Those of you that really have a hard time getting down onto your knees and back up efficiently or quickly, this might be your option today for today's workout. So you're going to position yourself super close to a chair. You're going to hinge back, put your hands on the chair. And you have 2 options here. One is to step out. Now you're in a plank. Here you've got the option of lowering down into that burpee or push-up, and then step back, and that's one option on your burpee. Another option, hands to the chair. You can try and unweight your lower body and hop your feet out, do that little push-up, or just maintain the plank and try and hop your feet back in. and stand up. So that is a fairly basic burpee that's going to allow you to move quickly. Another burpee option is, one burpee is 2 lunges. So you have to step back, lower down as far as you feel comfortable, step back, lower down as far as you feel comfortable. Then we move into actually getting down to the floor. So some of you may still need that chair or ottoman beside you, so you can go down into that lunge to your knee. Bring the other knee to the floor. Get your hands to the floor, walk your hands out, and lower your chest down. Now here you're going to push yourself back up, sending your hips back. Walk your hands towards your knees. You can use that chair if you need it. Come back into that lunge, stand through that front leg, and up. So that would be an example of another burpee. Some of you might be a little bit more independent and can go into what I call a squat burpee. So here you're going to be in a nice wide stance. We're going to think about going into a squat, but we make sure those knees go really wide. From here we start to lean forward and get our hands to the floor. Here we can walk our hands and feet out. We can stay in the plank and walk our hands and feet back in together and push ourselves up, or we can drop to our knees, get right down to the floor, push ourselves back up. So my knees are currently still on the ground. I'm going to plant my toes, lift my knees, step one foot in, step the other foot in, and then I can push myself back up with my hands. And there's my next burpee. Some of you I know can do a full burpee. So if you are in the full burpee group, then you're basically working through doing it as quickly as possible. So that's hands to the ground. You can either step your feet out or hop your feet out, lower down, push yourself back up, hop your feet in or step your feet in, stand up, and if you want to, you can add the jump and clap. And that's your burpee review. Okay, so now we are into our conditioning workout for today. This is basically 12 minutes worth of interval training that you're going to do, and you're going to need a timer for this. So something that will repeat 1 minute intervals for you so you know when to start and when to rest, okay? The other equipment that you're going to need for today's work is something to do step-ups with. If you don't have a staircase or a box or a step of some sort, then you might decide to put a line on the floor and do lateral or forward and back line hops or toe taps. That would be a substitute for your step-ups. You'll also need your push-up station that we worked with during our strength. And for the other bent over row, you'll either use a Theraband or weights, dumbbells, or jugs, or whatever it is that you found in your home. So the way this workout is going to work, on minute 1, you are going to do 2 burpees, whatever those burpees look like for you, whatever method you've decided to do. Okay, so once you have completed your 2 burpees, you're going to then do push-ups for the remainder of that first minute. So what that would look like, you would do your 2 burpees. That's 1. And that's 2. And then the rest of the minute, you're going to work away on your push-ups. You're going to complete as many push-ups as you can for the remainder of the minute. If you need to have a little rest in here before that timer goes, then you have a rest and you just chip away at trying to get as many push-ups done as you can. When that minute ends, I want you to take 1 full minute of rest before you move on to the second working minute. So once that first minute of rest is over, you're going to go on to minute 2 of work. And it starts with 2 burpees again. Once you've completed your 2 burpees, you're going to go to a bent over row. 2 ways we can achieve a bent over row. You can use your Theraband. So you're going to stand 2 feet in the middle in that hinged over position. So hips back, flat back. You can loop your hands around the band just to get a good grip on the band. Make sure the back is flat. And then you're going to pull those elbows back towards the ceiling. Keep that back flat. Think about the chest being up slightly.
Elbows move back and forth along the rib. So you're going to do as many bent over row as you can for the remainder of minute 2. Okay, so your other option to the Theraband bent over row is a dumbbell row or a weighted row. So here I've got my jugs of windshield wiper fluid. So it's the same technique. I'm going to hinge over, flat back, neutral spine, pick up those jugs or weights. My elbow or my arms are hanging right underneath my shoulders, and I'm just going to row back, keeping those elbows along my ribs. The elbow pulls back towards my hip, towards the ceiling. Okay, so I'm just going to row for the remainder of that minute. Now I have another minute of rest. One more full minute of rest. Then on the 3rd minute of work, I start with 2 burpees again, whichever burpee I've decided to use, and then I'm going to do step-ups for the remainder of the minute. Okay, so step-ups, minute 3 ends of work, then I get one more full minute of rest, and then I start back at the beginning with the first minute, which is 2 burpees and push-ups. 1 minute of rest, then 2 burpees, bent over row, another minute of rest, 2 burpees and step-ups, and you will be done. And that's your conditioning workout for today. Have fun. Don't forget to like and subscribe, leave comments below, and tell me how it went.